I have some money and I was hoping that you could tell me how much it equals. You're about to see some first grade students from the Downtown Denver Expeditionary School do a money jar assessment. This assessment has multiple parts depending on the student's ability. Afterward, you'll see a colleague and I as we reflect on how the students performed on the assessment.
First, I just want to see if you know what the coins are and how much they're worth, okay? Can you tell me the name of this coin? And you can pick them up if you want.
Penny.
Great. And how much is it worth?
1 cent.
Beautiful. How about this coin?
This is 5 cents, but I forgot the names.
That's okay. You are right. That one is 5 cents. We're going to do the other ones, and then we'll see if you remember, okay? Okay, how about this one?
This is 10 cents.
Great. Do you remember the name of it?
No.
Okay, that's okay. And how about this one?
This one's another 5 cents.
It's not. Can you figure it out? Look closely.
Hmm. 25 cents?
25 cents. Do you remember the name of it?
No.
That's all right.
I never do the 25 cents yet.
I know you haven't gotten there, huh? That's okay. Okay, so look, this one is called a nickel. You were right. The nickel's worth 5 cents. This one is a dime. You were right. The dime is worth 10 cents. And then the one that's 25 cents, that's the quarter. Okay? So next up, I'm wondering if you can figure out how much money I have in my jar. Do you think you can do that for me? Okay, go ahead.
These are 2 10 cents. 5 cents. Another 5 cents equals 10. So we got 40 here. And then another 10 equals 50. And another one equals 60. And then this one should be a 20. 25.
Okay.
And so we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60.
Can you show me that one more time, what you just did?
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60.
Great. Okay,
And
let me
then-
just write that down.
And since this is a 20, it should be 70. So it's 70,
Okay.
but it should be 75. Let's count that on. 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 95, 96, 97.
Hey, how much money was in my jar?
And now 98.
Oh, and now 98.
'Cause
I
I
cut you
have
off too
one in-
early. How much money was in my jar?
98.
Well done, Mary Kate. Look at all that interesting stuff you did with those coins. So she knew the value of each coin to start, didn't know the names of nickels, dimes, or quarters, but I wanted to see what she could do anyway. So we went on to level 2. I had written down that she separated by color first, but then she did separate out dimes and nickels. She put 2 5s together and said
make
that's
a
a
10.
10. And then she was like, and these 2 10s, so that's 40. Another 10 is 50. Another 10 is 60. But then she went back and recounted them by 10s and she fixed her error. But that last coin, she thought it was a quarter. It was actually a nickel. So then she was treating it like a quarter. So she was inaccurate.
Because she identified a nickel as a nickel as a quarter.
Yeah. She did not organize the pennies in groups.
Right.
Yeah, she just counted those as ones.
So then what would you mark for organizing and grouping the coins strategically? She was putting the nickels together to make a 10,
Yeah.
which is strategic, but she wasn't grouping the ones at all.
I feel like I would say yes for that part and maybe just make a note of not the pennies.
Okay.
But I thought her strategy of counting on by ones from there, like that was not, that made a lot of sense. I think she could have been a little more strategic, but.
Well, it was more strategic to start with the larger numbers and not starting with the pennies first and then trying to add on.
And then solves in a strategic way. What do you think?
I mean, I think so what is the difference then between 3 and 4? Because that feels like we just talked about it being strategic as well. So is the first one the organization and then the second one the counting?
Yeah, so maybe the solve in a strategic way for her would be a no because she counted on from ones with the pennies. Versus in order to be a yes here, she might have like grabbed 5 of the pennies and said, okay, that makes my next 10. That would be 80.
Because it does say to describe the groups. And so that last part wasn't grouped at all. So that makes sense to have that be a no. And then.
And I think in general, it's clear to me like she is approaching a level 2. Overall, she's not quite there yet. Okay, and then the reason I did not have her double check is that I feel like because she showed us she's not super solid on her coins, I wanted to see like what can she do, and is that a barrier or not? So in terms of circling a student's independent level, I think I'm going to say like not yet level 1.
Not yet level 1?
Yeah.
Because she misidentified the coins in the future.
Exactly.
So her counting ability is higher than her ability to identify the coins?
I mean, essentially, yes. But I think we saw that came up as a barrier.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
In counting it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, this tells us that like she still needs to master that level 1 in order to be able to master level 2 as well.
Sounds good. Liana, I have some coins, and I was wondering if you could tell me what these coins are and their amount.
Quarter.
Yeah.
25 cents.
Cool.
Dime.
Okay.
10 cents. Nickel. 5 cents. And 1 cent.
Nice work. Next, I have some money, and I was hoping that you could tell me how much it equals.
Dime. 10. 20, 30, 40, 2, 10, 10 pennies, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, and then 70. 1, 2, 8. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 78.
Cool. How much money is that?
78.
Okay. Nice work, Liana. All right, I'm wondering if you can tell me how much money I have in this jar.
Quarter.
You got it.
Another quarter. 25 plus 25 equals 60.
Oh, you think that 25 plus 25 is 60?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another 60. 60 plus 60. I don't know.
You're not sure?
No.
Well, there's a whole bunch of money here. Is there other money that you can count?
Yes. 25. 6 pennies plus 25.
Okay, I think we are going to stop there. What do you think we need to figure out? What's the next step you need to work on?
Yeah.
So that's the next thing that we'll work on in class so that you can figure out when you're adding quarters together how much it equals.
Okay. Nice work.
So Liana is confidently through level 1.
Absolutely. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, so if we go through this bottom part, she was accurate. She definitely organized her pennies in groups. I do think she organized and grouped coins strategically.
And so is it okay that she didn't group, like she didn't put all the dimes together? She didn't put all of the nickels together. Is that still organizing them strategically?
I think the fact that she had a very clear plan of like, I'm going to make tens the whole time. To me, she did both, organized them and solved strategically.
Okay.
What do you think?
No, that sounds good.
And then even at the end, she knew, okay, I have 8 pennies, so that's 78. She didn't even have to like count on by ones from there either.
This is where it got a little bit messy for her.
She worked really hard. Yeah.
So she was not accurate either try because she didn't understand how to group quarters together or what adding 2 quarters together would make.
We didn't ask her to write her solution because she wasn't there yet. Does the child solving strategy involve strategic grouping? She was definitely using strategic grouping. She was making those tens again. And then same when she got to the 85, she was like, and 5 more pennies gets us to our next 10. So I think I would mark her as a yes here. I mean, she's definitely not going to be independent on level 3, but I do think
this is her
that's
working
something.
level.
Yeah.
And it's not that she has no strategies. She just needs to figure out what's going on with those coins when we're putting them together, how much they really are.
Absolutely. Okay, and then we didn't ask her to write an equation. So then overall, her independent level would be level 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Cool.
I'm just wondering, can you tell me the names of these coins and what they're worth?
This is a nickel worth 5 cents.
Okay.
This is a penny worth 1 cent.
Okay.
This is a quarter worth 25 cents with ridges.
Nice.
And this is a dime, which is the smallest, which is worth 10 cents and has ridges too.
Well done. You know a lot about those coins. Can you figure out how much money is in my jar?
These are for dimes, which is 40.
Okay.
And 3 nickels is 15 because 5 plus 10 equals 15.
Okay. And so how much did you say this was?
55.
Okay.
60.
Okay.
70. 78.
Great. How much money was there?
78. 78 cents.
Nice job. Should
Which
we
is
find out
like-
how much is in here?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, that's already $1. That's $2. 80, 81, 91. $2.91.
Okay, Rooney, can you go ahead and double check for me?
I already know that this is $2 because 4 quarters is $1.
Okay.
90 cents, 91.
Well done.
$2.91.
And can you do me a favor and can you just write that final answer here? I want to see how you write that. Beautiful. Would you be able to write an equation that matches how you got that answer?
First, I want to know what an equation is.
Yeah, or a number sentence you might call them. Do you think you could write a number sentence that shows me how you got $2.91?
So, like, how I did it?
Yeah.
I'm just writing 4 cubes, which stands for 4 quarters.
Got it. Yep. Well done. Nice work. Let's start from level 1 and we'll
Okay.
go. So he was definitely very confident on his names and values of coins. For level 2, he was accurate, 78 cents.
Yep.
He organized the pennies in groups. He grouped the coins strategically. And I feel like he solved in a strategic way.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, great. So definitely independent for level 2. Level 3. So I did not catch his error the first time, but on the second one, I was like, oh, it must be that he's counting a nickel as a quarter. And then I went back and double checked that, yeah, there were only 7 quarters. He counted one of the nickels as a quarter.
Which makes sense why he was 20 cents off.
Yes. So he was not accurate on either try. He did accurately write the solution that he got, so I'm going to give him credit for that, and he included the $sign. Strategic grouping, I feel like he did use strategic grouping.
Well, and his counting fluency is so high, he was able to know when he was grouping certain things together, what it was when he added it to the number before.
Yeah, and then in terms of his equation, so he was labeling them, which is fine. He wrote like $1 plus $1 plus 40 plus 30 plus 11. But I think because he's not showing in any way that these are cents, I would say no for the equation.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. So we would grade him as a 2 because he's working on level 3.
Exactly, yeah. So he's independent on level 2. Great.
We hope that this video about the assessment helps you understand that it's not something that's totally out of your wheelhouse to be able to do, and that the data you can get from it can help your students grow and feel successful in their math ability.